the HiPipo Chronicles, and this is a podcast where we get to look into the journey of HiPipo, and we are doing that with the CEO of HiPipo, Innocent Kawooya, and we started off in 2005 looking at the journey of how the ideas were later brought into action, and some innovations came up. We went into trying to create a social media platform that is for Africa, that could where people would go and meet and try to interact, just like how you see any of the current social media platforms. But we wanted to design one for Africa. So that went into also supporting music, promoting digital inclusion, which we shall get into in the later episodes a little bit deeper. But as far as 2009 goes, we are looking at delving into more into the music market, trying to support musicians, creating websites for musicians, and also rolling out more products as far as the music goes in terms of playlisting. If you were at the time tuned in with HiPipo, you knew there were playlists, there were charts, all that. Actually, whenever you wanted to get music in Uganda, you'd only have to go to the HiPipo website and get the music. There wasn't any of the current websites that are providing you music at the moment in Uganda. That wasn't the case. But we are with this CEO of HiPipo, Innocent Kawooya. So in this second installment of 2009, so we in the first episode, we are looking at the events, campaigns, the R. Kelly Must Play hits.
Yeah.
That gets done. No, there wasn't much more bigger benefit for HiPipo as a company at the time. Just like when the UB40 event happened and you design an entire website dedicated to the event,
and we got 2 tickets.
And you got 2 tickets for all that effort.
Ordinary tickets. Yeah.
So what keeps the momentum going? Because you're designing products, you're putting them out there. It's costing you so much in terms of paying for servers and paying for everything that comes with that. What keeps you going at the time?
Thank you, Mark, and for everyone that is listening and watching. We, for some reason, find there are many problems that have to be solved.
Yes.
That is the starting point of what keeps us going. I mean, as we are solving what we had as bugs, as technical challenges and financial internally, we realize that what we are putting into the market is actually needed. It is solving problems, and we need to keep going and doing it. So 2009, for instance, reminds me of the challenge we had of how people were very naive about understanding how to pronounce HiPipo. One of the most annoying things up to today is the people who are very educated, people who have doctorates and professors. When I find one and they say HiPipo, I get so angry, like very angry. When someone doesn't write HiPipo as capital H, small I, capital P, and the others are small, I'm like, wait a minute, but these were overeducated. So we had that challenge.
Yeah. And
to the extent that we had to make several interpretations for people to write HiPipo as the normal HiPipo, And then you find people and they're like, are you really high? You're high on what? It's like, no, it is high. It is a citation. I mean, we have in the phrase and the slogan of a friend's rendezvous. But then we really want to get so strong on supporting music.
Yes.
So we are thinking of turning HiPipo.com into a social entertainment platform, not just a social network. There have not been so many social entertainment platforms in the world up to today. I mean, the only one that tried to be one like that was MySpace.
Yeah.
And whatever happened to them, God knows we are still heartbroken about them.
A lot of musicians were discovered on that. Adele was discovered on that. She's a big superstar.
Yeah, they were doing a very, very great job. And only HiPipo was doing something close. Yeah.
Yeah, in East Africa. I don't, as far as Africa goes, I think in East Africa, we know for sure.
Yes. Nobody did it like HiPipo.
Nobody was doing chats at the time and all that. Yeah.
Not just the chats, but everything.
And interacting and also doing more of supporting the music. Because there's one thing you designing products for musicians on your platform, but then there's another thing of going ahead and saying, I'm going to empower you.
Yeah.
To also, get to another level that you should be at.
Yeah. So, I mean, that a lot of that was happening. We were getting our hands, not dirty really, but getting our hands on the tabs to make sure the musicians learn. People who are a bit enlightened with technology and internet usage were milking some good money from musicians to upload their music.
Oh, yeah.
when they could somewhere. I don't remember. SoundCloud wasn't there by then.
SoundCloud was around, but it was
around,
yeah,
but
it wasn't
wasn't
around.
usable
But
here.
Here,
Reverb Nation
is what people knew more.
it was what. So it wasn't usable though, and we were thinking, okay, how do we solve the problem? How do we advise a brand? So we started thinking of creating a jingle. I remember, I'm sure you heard of HiPipo.com.
Yeah.
Jemima Sanyu, and that friend of mine, I've not seen her in a while, much as I see her on WhatsApp all the time. So
that's the new way we see people.
We shouldn't just settle for that. We should do better than that. Yeah. So, and Jemima came on to help us voice Chihuahua, and he's a good friend of mine, any day, anytime. And Jose Mayanja, I don't know where he's been hiding all this time. I've looked for him for the last about 3 years. So we went to studio and recorded this jingle. And for some reason, we didn't know it was going to become a very important jingle. It was one of its kind. No one has even done anything like that is dealing in the web space over the years. But it helped us solve so many problems, branding problems, awareness, and all that kind of stuff. But why? Because we wanted to get strong on the advocacy for promoting music distribution. For someone that is watching, and for many people that are faking in the world, trying to say that they're solving problems of musicians, the musicians in our world here and in our country, one of the biggest challenges they had then was distribution.
Even now.
Yeah, of course, now internet.
Even now they still deal with it.
Yeah, yes, Mark, but it is better now.
Yes.
Ijaz Radio has an email that I even know offhand.
Yeah.
That when you send your music there and it qualifies to be on one of the playlists, you'll have it played immediately.
Yeah.
And you'll take it to hundreds of countries. I mean, by that time, anything East African music that anyone in Uganda, East Africa, and in the diaspora, especially in Europe, that wanted to have access to the same, could only find it on HiPipo.com. But see how hard it was getting some music. Getting Kenyan music in good quality, like videos and all that kind of stuff, you had to send someone to Kenya. So getting music in Tanzania, you had to pay someone, guys on the buses, and then you give them 200,000 shillings. They come with 3 songs or 3 videos. And then you're like, wait a minute. Then getting it in Uganda, you either get it from the directors. I remember one of the earliest adapters for us was NG Films that could get us the music. Very easy. I think they had seen this was going to happen. No wonder we had to collaborate with them over time, yeah.
And one of them is recording us right now, so.
I wanted to go to director George. No wonder one of them, after winning almost 9 Best Video Director awards. The other was Frank Ja. He really saw the wave of internet changing things. Honestly, it was very hard for a song to become a hit in Uganda if it wasn't on HiPipo. It was very hard.
The only website.
The only way to distribute music.
Yes.
So every single TV, every single radio could only know that a song is big when it is on HiPipo charts.
Yes.
They could only know the song is big when HiPipo has premiered it. So see what we get. We create some bit of monopoly as well. In a way to market our brand.
Yeah.
We say, wait a minute. We are creating this big impact. First of all, how do we cut costs for getting access to content that is new in Kenya? So we decided to create a HiPipo Kenya branch. Then we also decided to get a personnel in Tanzania that would be our liaison officer. So we could get music a little bit more affordably. But it could take us a whole month to get music that was released throughout the month. So it was still not as effective as what we wanted to run. We wanted to run like the real wave of internet. Be time cautious about everything. Distribute music in real time. Have news in real time. Of course, the point was not actually in any way to compete with radios or compete with TVs and newspapers, but ours was to create a benefit.
And you learn that.
Exactly. So for many years, from 2009 as we go to the other episodes, it became the order of the day that media was split into about 3. There was the print media, which had all the many. There was radio and TV, and there was HiPipo.
Yes.
So we were not just internet, and I can't be even more proud of that anytime. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. We had control over an industry that we still have control over. But for many who didn't understand, who were saying, no, we are doing this in music because we want to demonstrate the transformative capacity of digitization for this content. Not because you want to say, okay, our music is our place. But thank God, doing the job we did in music also got HiPipo brand to so many places. So many places that would take us so many years to reach if we had to travel by plane. And getting there for the good reason. Getting there because you're the reference point. I mean, even the Facebooks of this world, the Twitters of this world and Instagram might never have created the value that we created then for our industry. Not even any single day. Yeah.
I think what people tend to miss when, which is a good thing that we're doing the HiPipo Chronicles now, that goes through the journey, because people that were around at the time can attest to this and talk about how much being on HiPipo.com, how being on the charts, how that meant even the playlists that were being done where people can easily just go and listen to music that is already selected for you to check out. People can attest to that. I think the good thing is that now that we are documenting that and having that for people to listen to, I think it will give them, especially the younger people, a deep insight on how long the journey of trying to get music to work on alternative platforms rather than the traditional media has been a journey that started a while ago, more than 12, 13 years ago. Because now HiPipo is making 19 years.
Yeah, sure.
This year. We are recording this 2023 if you listen to this a year later or 2 years later.
10 years.
Or 10 years later.
Yeah.
So this journey has not been, and even now we are not yet to where we need to be, because there are still more things that we are trying to have be part of the industry, and and it takes a while. But speaking of taking us a while, what are some of the challenges that you encountered in trying to, because there might be infrastructure, the technology levels of where we're at the time, what are some of the challenges that you encountered at the time when you are trying to make sure that you have this avenue, which is HiPipo.com, and of course you need people to come onto the platform, but what are some of the hindrances you are facing at the time? Well,
thank you, Mark. Well, the challenges were numerous, to say. They were ranging from everything that any entrepreneur in our space faces, starting from the lack of resources to run, but somehow I thank God we managed to go through. And the resources were not just money. Even having a good computer, you remember our Pentium 3s and Pentium
4s, Pentium 3s, yeah. Takes 5-10 minutes to even just start.
Yeah, so of course we had to do a kind of barter trade with institutions, not formally. For instance, when I was teaching in Makerere, myself, one of the main reasons why I was there is because I had access to a computer that was faster than the one we had
and faster
at our
internet.
command center.
Yeah.
And then I had access to internet every day. But the faster internet was only during the weekends and at night.
Yes.
And at night, I mean after probably 10, when people have left. So imagine you are in an institution where they block places like YouTube
during the day.
During the day, because the bandwidth cannot be able to serve. And then you cannot download photos. I mean, someone can send you some content and you really need to run it, but you need to wait for the night and write some content and other kind of stuff. So that was quite challenging. I remember 2009 was still the year when for one whole week we couldn't afford to raise money to pay for our server. So it was the virtual private server then that were hosting our work on. So it went off for a week. And then, pressure, man.
Yeah, of course, a week in a digital space.
So people are calling. People who had now started to know us are calling. What's up with the website? And then I had to lie. I can't say we had to, because it was me who was lying by that time.
You lied on behalf.
On behalf, but I had to lie to people. So someone calls you, I'm like, you can't see the platform. I'm here. I'm on it live now. Yeah. You get. So this website that is me or everyone. Is it me? You know that site where you're able to test me or everyone, yeah? So people are testing. So some people are already smart enough
they
because
would know,
they were tech savvy. And saying, I'm not checking on me, everyone, and saying everyone is off. Okay, like, well, wait a minute, no. Oh, wait a minute, let me check with our servers. Maybe they serve.
What device are you using, by the way? Let's see. Might be the problem.
Might be. What's your IP address and that kind of stuff. So
I remember this because I remember there's a site we were creating content on called Urban Hype at the time. Earlier, 2011, 12.
Yeah.
I think 12, around there. And we needed to change the servers, but we also needed money to host it, and we couldn't have. So we said, a week and we shall be back.
Yeah.
And they're like, changing servers doesn't take more than 2 hours even. It doesn't take even 10 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
We are like, a week, it will take a week.
Yeah, I know. But Mark, technically also, I can imagine. But also honestly, technically, and for everyone that is watching, sometimes it can even take a whole month.
Yeah.
For example, migrating data, we were carrying a lot of information. We had acquired a lot of agreements from content creators, video directors, and the musicians that time that had allowed us to use their content, upload it in different places, including other video hosting platforms like YouTube, Vimeo, and all the likes that were there. But it wasn't an easy road as well, working with the musicians, and how they were changing their minds. Not because they had alternatives, but we had something that would keep them glued for some time. We had HiPipo chats. They were growing. They were booming. I remember around that time, the likes of Navio, GNL, Walkaga could make it.
Matthias?
Yeah. I remember around that time. There were quite a number of those names. Angela Kadatumba, she's your cousin?
Yeah,
your cousin. Shout out to her. Bobby Wine, Radio and Weasel, Lady JD, Nameless, and the likes. I remember around that time. I'm sure we should have conversation about this as we talk about other things in the next episode. But the interest was growing, and it's growing to the right direction. Like the ones that they call the uptown artists, the ones that they call the ghetto artists,
and the local artists.
And the local ones.
Who people call band artists.
So Bobby Wine one time told me that Dalima, because that's people used to call me Dalima for my football history. So the things internet don't work. My people are on Kabiriti. You remember the Kabiriti phenomenon?
Katikitiki,
so my people are on Kabiriti, and they cannot be on internet checking for my music. My music is supposed to be on radio and that kind of stuff. Okay. I'm like, wait a minute, watch this. Things are going to happen. You're going to need internet every day of your life going forward until when we ever die, and see what is happening.
It's the only avenue he's using right now.
Exactly. And
mostly.
It's the only thing he has to use to disseminate information about him. So, and he's not alone. So many didn't believe because maybe they had power to speak about things, or because they thought their voice mattered as much. Internet revolutionized that. Everyone's voice matters.
Absolutely. And even what you see currently, I know people might be excited about, we are to a point, we haven't yet reached the capacity of what the internet can be used for. For example, in terms of, let's say, if you're doing events, we are not to a level where people can buy tickets in advance for you to know and to plan ahead. All we do is we wait for the last minute, how many people are at the gate, how many people entered, and then now you can't do anything after that. So we are not yet to that. We are still, scratching the surface to see what it could be. And I only wish that, as we wrap up this second installment of 2009, I only wish that the journey that started back then, I just wish that if musicians can still work with platforms the same way, like the experience that HiPipo has gained over the 19 years, and then build onto that, because there is more than just having the song on social media and then being viral. That's just the start of it. But then there is more. Okay, you're viral now. What happens next? And even in the next episode, we shall talk about content, because Innocent talked about content and how much it became a problem when it comes to copyright and agreements and all that. So we shall also get into more of when you're having a website and you're starting up some stuff, what things you need to consider in advance. All right. So the HiPipo Chronicles, this is the second installment of 2009. Watch out for the next episodes. Get a podcast where you get podcasts from, the HiPipo Chronicles, or get us on social media at HiPipo across all social media platforms. Until next time.